So, we're not going to have Rosalind today because she's sick. And I want to start with one basic question that everybody are eager to learn more about. Mario started discussing it, and that is what kind of structure are we going to see in 210 till 212 in terms of the players? What roles will operators take in the telco map, and what roles developers, tech companies, and especially innovators will have in this telecom arena? Gil?
I think what's changing and what's happening is that we see the role of developers of applications is finally growing. It still isn't taking a huge portion of the market, but potentially it does have the room to grow. So I would say that the iPhone experience is starting to change the model. We do have in the market, and I'm talking about all operators in the world, we do have a lot of rev share content models and application models, but still I would predict that most revenues are still generated by applications that are owned and operated by the operator itself. We, the operators, created most of the big applications that are generating most of the money today. Not in all cases, but I would say in most operators that I know of. And this model could change over time, where new players create new applications and bring them to the front. But they have, at least in the near future, they have to do it in participation and cooperation with the operators. Maybe later on down the road, they would be more standalone. But still, if we're just looking at the next 2 years, the operator's role is still quite significant, I believe.
I think that the trend that we see today, that the shift, to over-the-top application, over-the-top services, will continue in much faster pace. That the operator, I think, believe. Just if you look at the UK, that last year, for 2008, 70% of the users went through the portal of the operators. It went down to 30%, which is dramatic decrease. And many people just choose to use other portals in order to get their application and services. This also relates to the big trend that the shift moves from the hardware to the software. And basically it's something that is quite similar to what happened in the PC world 30 years ago, to the shift from the importance of the hardware to the importance of the software. And I think this trend only increasing over time, and that applications will be delivered to the consumers directly. The operators, I believe, have a very important part because they have a lot of data that no one else have about the subscribers, and also they have the billing and the relationship with the subscriber, which is extremely important. But I believe that application services will continue to grow dramatically directly to the subscribers, with changing, of course, the business model that I think we'll discuss later on.
Feel free to discuss the business models along with the structure. everybody are here to listen to that as well.
Yeah, I also believe that the convergence is going to accelerate, and that developers will be developing with the same tools or similar tools for the web, and it will find the applications will be migrating to the mobile environment more and more seamlessly. So this is still ahead of us. People still need to develop and be very sensitive to which platform they develop, but I believe the web-based tools will support mobility better and better as we go forward. I believe that operators also have a very important role, and they maybe will have to use better their knowledge of usage patterns of their customers, maybe to offer them things proactively in a way that will better fit the usage, the type of things that customers are doing, so they can segment their customers much better, can be offering things in a maybe more sophisticated way. But other than that, I believe people will have access to same applications that they have on the web, they will have through mobile devices. I also believe that we will see more and more innovation with respect to business models, like the network-attached devices like we see with Kindle, for example, in the US, where people are using Kindle, they are not sensitive even that behind there is a mobile delivery. They just pay for the content. They don't pay for airtime at all. So this type of business models will probably, there will be a lot of innovation, I believe, with how applications and content is being consumed. So I believe we are really facing very, very active, very dynamic period in front of us with this basically smartphone revolution in a way. You know, apropos the forecasts of analysts, just a few years ago, nobody thought that smartphone penetration will be 40% in just a few years. You know, everybody were talking just about maybe 10, 15% at most. So nobody could see this revolution coming the way it is, and now it's really very open and very dynamic environment.
I can't speak when I sit. This is my second tenure at Microsoft. I was the first one ended in 2004. I was in Redmond for 11 years, and then I came back, and I was 4 years at Amdocs, running the product development organization for Amdocs. So I was exposed to telcos from that perspective for the last 6 years or so. I think that we've been hearing for many years now, at least 6, 7, 8 years, that ARPU is going down for the operators, that voice revenues are declining, data revenues are kind of flat, not going up, not going down. Walled gardens are going to break down and disappear. So we knew all of this. I think what's really surprising, and one of the panelists already mentioned that, is the speed by which this is happening. I mean, numbers like the numbers from UK, which I read as well, are nothing but astounding. In 1 year, a drop of 40% in the people that go to the portal of the operator instead going to Google or Microsoft or Yahoo or any of the other portals. I think it's simply an amazing number. Another number I will show you later, I think I have a couple of slides later, is the number of smartphones. I think Moshe mentioned it in his presentation, 40% going up. Smartphones are here, they're going to take over the market, and what does that mean for the operators? So I think that what I learned from that and from the speed things are happening is that operators will have to, they will continue to work downstream with subscribers, but they will have to start looking upstream and getting revenues from developers, application developers, getting revenue from advertising, and maybe even enterprise. I think when we'll talk later, maybe I'll talk a little bit more about enterprise. I think that's where the operators will have to go. One word about the software vendors like Microsoft, Apple, Google, people that actually develop software for phones. If you can imagine, I don't have a board here, but if you can imagine an axis in which on one axis is open platform versus a closed platform, and the other axis is friendly to the operators and unfriendly to the operators, and try to see what quartile of these four is going to be the winning quartile. And then after you do that, try to map the current the companies I mentioned, like Google and Apple and RIM and Microsoft, on these quartiles, and think which one is going to be the successful. The one is going to be open and working well with operators, or closed and not working with operators, and so on. I think that's, I don't want to say an opinion, I'm opinionated here because of where I'm from, but that's something I think that everyone need to look at and think about.
I think, can you hear?